This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News, from the countryside to campus, we've got a look at NDSU's Little International.
A local researcher is studying some creepy crawlies. Find out how the arachnids are aiding medical research.
Some jazz stars groove to the music at NDSU's Jazz Festival.
But first, from Back to the Future to Band in the Future, we'll show you why universities are pulling the plug on hoverboards. Good morning and welcome to Campus News. I'm Tyrell Philly.
And I'm Betsy Harmson.
College campuses across the nation have students zooming on hoverboards like Marty McFly.
But are they dangerous? Reporter Emma Vatnsdal has more.
Hoverboards were one of the most popular gifts under the Christmas tree, but soon after they went on the market, they became a big safety concern. MSUM sent an email to its students informing them of a ban on the self-balancing motorized scooters. They have been banned on many campuses across the nation, as well as in many public buildings.
They have caught on fire, they've exploded, and so that was the main reason, is just the risk right now with them.
MSUM officials say the hoverboards are a hazard, even while standing still. Not everyone believes they are dangerous. Hoverboard owner Jared Eischen
fell a couple times.
Believes that they are perfectly safe if used properly.
For the small percentage of people that actually have them and will be riding them on campus, I think the risk of them lighting on fire on campus is pretty low.
There's always the chance of falls.
Christ. I think the most dangerous thing is you not knowing what you're doing, losing control, and falling, hitting your head, and getting really hurt.
While these self-balancing motorized machines are not permitted on school grounds now, updates will be provided on the ban after further research has been done. With photographer Tyrell Philly, Emma Vatnsdal, Campus News.
MSUM is the third MSU school to put a ban on hoverboards.
Governor Dayton has asked an MSUM professor to play a key role in shaping police officers across the state. Dayton asked Joel Powell to be a member of the Minnesota Police Officer Standards and Training Board. Joel Powell is a professor of sociology and criminal justice. He's also the director for POST at MSUM. The board gives peace officers their license, establishes qualifications and conduct, and manages education. Powell will be in charge of making sure our officers are qualified to enforce the law. POST has been around since 1967, and there are 15 members on the board, each serving a 4-year term. Governor Dayton appoints each member.
Freshman students attending M-State in Moorhead could get the chance to earn their bachelor's degree from Concordia, thanks to a new program called Up to You. Concordia and Minnesota State Community and Technical College agreed to award students $18,000 scholarships to Concordia per year. To qualify for the scholarship, students must sign up for the program as freshmen, keep up with their grades and classes, and finish their M-State degree in 3 years. Students that go through the process and transfer to Concordia will then be able to earn the money for their junior and senior years. This program is also available for M-State students in Detroit Lakes, Fergus Falls, and Wadena campuses.
There's something new crawling around Sudrow Hall at North Dakota State University. Reporter Ethan Agree takes us there to see more.
One professor at North Dakota State University is taking a new spin on medical research. Dr. Amanda Brooks can most often be seen with a spider in hand.
Her fangs are curved underneath,
earning her the nickname the Spider Lady.
I had no affinity to spiders, but I didn't hate them either, and I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool that I could engineer this. And that's kind of what started it all.
Dr. Brooks and her lab students are working towards developing the delicate fibers of spider silk. By using proteins, they are hoping to reconstruct the silk so it can become a common material used throughout the medical field.
She's just hanging out there.
Currently, Dr. Brooks has 4 golden orb spiders that get silked every other day.
We just tape them down with Scotch tape.
The spiders are knocked out with CO2, taped down, and given cricket guts to snack on while the students extract the spider's silk.
So this is spider silk that's wrapping around the conical here.
Dr. Brooks and her students work together to make sure the spiders live a comfortable life in the lab so they can get as much silk as possible.
We have to have them on a 12-hour light-dark cycle. They have to be maintained at a certain temperature. Because we're not as humid as Florida, we have to make sure that we spray them with water a few times a day. So they're a little finicky.
For pre-pharmacy student Brianna Bremrich, working in Dr. Brooks' lab is something she looks forward to every day.
Dr. Brooks will give us a project, and then we can just work on it, and we can be creative and see what we can figure out and find out on our own.
Studying spiders is out of the question for some students, but Dr. Brooks never seems to struggle finding a helping hand.
There's always a place for everybody in the lab. There's always something that I can find for students to do.
As Dr. Brooks' research continues, she hopes others will start seeing the benefits spiders can provide rather than just viewing them as household pests. Ethan Degree, Campus News.
Dr. Brooks' research is funded by the National Institute of Health.
MSUM joins colleges nationwide by offering new scholarship opportunities through social media. The university's goal is to attract new students through a medium today's students use daily. #BeADragon is a scholarship offered through Twitter, focused on incoming students. A letter posted on MSUM's website in late January announced a social media campaign, urging future students to show their dragon pride on Twitter to compete for $2,500 scholarship. The social media marketing instructor Whitney Nelson said she's excited to see the social media being used in a new way.
To know that there's an option and an opportunity to learn and grow in social media in particular kind of differentiates, I think, a lot of programs in the area.
Multiple submissions from students came in within the first 24 hours, displaying prospective students' school pride through videos, pictures, and comments. To see student submissions, search #BeADragon.
A North Dakota State University researcher is leading a revolutionary study that could change the way wind energy is used. Assistant Professor Nilanjan Ray Chaudhry recently received a $500,000 National Science Foundation Career Award to study a new wind energy system. Chaudhry is focused on connecting U.S. wind farms to the power systems in new ways. He will continue his research to find the most efficient, economical, and reliable way we can harness wind energy and transmit it over long distances. His idea could put North Dakota at the forefront of eco-friendly energy.
South Dakota State University is recognizing engineers making an impact. SDSU is hosting several events in connection with National Engineers Week. The National Society of Professional Engineers created the celebration. The week's activities begin on February 22nd with a reception in the Research Park on SDSU's campus. Brookings Mayor Tim Reed is set to speak at the reception and officially declare the week Engineers Week. Engineering students will get the chance to compete in a dodgeball tournament and other events such as the Ultimate Engineers Pageant.
MSUM students and staff will have a whole new excuse to have their heads in the stars.
The planetarium is getting a dazzling upgrade. Reporter Emma Vatnsdahl has more.
Zooming through space and flying to Mars is not just something that astronauts do anymore. Imagination comes to life at the MSUM Planetarium. With its high-tech dome and projector that can show you the universe in less than a minute, students are able to view the stars in ways that some people only dream about. Sarah Schultz, the planetarium director at MSUM, says the process of getting the funding for the upgrades was more about raising awareness for the planetarium.
I think the important thing was to get other people on campus interested and invested in it. I think that was a big selling point for it. Just getting people who say, hey, I think this is important, I think it would be useful, we would use it if we had it, and just showing that it has a big student impact, which it does.
Technology can only go so far, though. But with the MSUM Student Senate's approval of a $58,000 funding request for the planetarium, hardware upgrades and new programs will mean a lot more use for the planetarium.
Both University Technology Committee and Senate gave it a rank 1, which was clear benefit to the university, packs a broad number of students, ties into things the university is really, emphasizing. Those are a lot of the factors.
Schultz says that the most exciting feature of these new upgrades is the permanent installation of the Artemis space simulator.
Artemis is really geeky, which is fantastic. It's the spaceship bridge, so it's the control center where everybody sits and everybody has their specific duties. And then there's the captain, of course, who tells everybody what to do.
But what about our last steps?
The new equipment will expand the use of the planetarium and give opportunity for students and community members to shoot for the moon. With photographer Jared Schumacher, Emma Vatnsdahl, Campus News.
The hardware upgrades are expected to be completed before the start of the fall semester.
Minnesota State University Moorhead's Dragon Entertainment Group held its first Pinterest event on campus. Pinterest is a popular social network site that connects people and helps users find inspiration for their next arts and crafts project. This event was the first of the Pinterest series and focuses on painting. It was held in the Underground located in Comstock Memorial Union.
This event is a 3-part event. It's called the Pinterest series. The first event, which is tonight, is for painting. And so then students can paint on canvases anything that they want.
Okay.
and it's just time to relax and get away from schoolwork that started.
The Dragon Entertainment Group says the next event is knitting in March, followed by crafts in April.
Nearly all students use some sort of financial aid. However, a new study by the Center of Budget Policy and Priorities show all but 3 states still spend less money on financial aid than they did before the recession. Minnesota is one of the 47 states that hasn't returned to the spending ahead before the recession. The financial aid director at MSUM says the state used to provide about 2/3 of the cost, but now covers only about 1/3. This drastic change has meant more students are applying for financial aid and there is a greater need for scholarships.
There were quite a few scholarships I saw available to me, and I tried to take as many as I could. But sometimes it seemed like the numbers that the scholarships were offering just wouldn't be enough.
According to the study, the states that have brought the spending back to pre-recession levels are Alaska, North Dakota, and Wyoming. Though North Dakota recently announced a need to cut back on higher education due to a budget shortfall.
One college professor is looking to help students save some money on their college tuition. Professor Edward Neth of the University of Connecticut is looking to use open source textbooks. With textbook prices rising, many students report often skipping out on buying some of their required books. These open source textbooks will be made with publicly available materials and issued to students for free or at a fraction of the normal price. Supporters say the main hurdle to get these textbooks into more universities is the lack of knowledge by school faculty. Education experts believe open source textbooks will coexist but not fully replace commercial textbooks.
One MSUM art professor got some major recognition for his work. Brad Bachmeyer won an award for his piece, The Primal Element Series, at a national exhibit held in Bemidji. The Bachmeyer says the inspiration for his exhibit was the residency from a Lewis and Clark State Park in North Dakota and the parent relationship between the rock and the clay.
Making the work is fun. Every now and then when you get an accolade that comes with it, that's a nice little addition, but that's not necessarily where I find the joy, you know.
His award-winning piece is part of the permanent collection of the Bemidji Art Council. College campuses may be soon filled with headsets instead of smartphones. Google is working on a new virtual reality headset, which will work without your smartphone or computer. The headset will feature a screen, high-speed processors, and an outward-facing camera. Google currently sells a virtual reality device which allows users to slide their smartphones into a cardboard headset and download apps for an inexpensive virtual reality experience. A release date has not been set for the new virtual reality headset.
Cafes usually have coffee, sweet treats, and people with their noses stuck in a book. But this isn't your average cafe, it's the NDSU Science Cafe. Here the public can come enjoy a drink and good food at the Hotel Donaldson while listening to topics like computer technology from speakers in the NDSU community. The Science Cafe has been around for 9 years and is becoming more popular. The cafe happens monthly on different topics with different speakers.
The idea was to have a venue where scientists can present topics of general interest to a general audience. So the idea is really not to attract only people from NDSU, but more importantly to also attract people from the community.
7 people are involved in the recruitment process to get more local scientists from the Fargo-Moorhead area interested in speaking at the cafe.
U of M President Eric Kaler says the new price for tuition and fees could rise to $35,000 a year by 2019. Academic Provost Karen Hansen says non-resident students currently enrolled would not face these sharp increases. Other officials worry the hikes could backfire and cost the school new students. The U of M Board of Regents will vote on the tuition hike in June.
A member of the Concordia College Band is getting an opportunity to play in major venues and NFL stadiums across the country. Concordia student Daniel Melby is a section leader in his hometown drum and bugle corps. He plays the euphonium, a valved brass musical instrument resembling a small tuba. The Blue Stars of Forest City, Iowa are touring this summer for 60 days, including 35 performances. Melby came to Concordia with family ties here and aspires to be a college music educator. He says music is his passion and feels lucky to be living out his dreams every day. NDSU cowgirls and cowboys have an opportunity to further their skills.
Thanks to horse owners all over the U.S. and the furry friends themselves. Veronica Utek has more.
Meet Peyton. He lives at the NDSU Equine Center during the school year and is ridden almost every weekday by students who love him. It's all thanks to the Horse Loaner program at NDSU.
In the 7 years I've been riding, I've learned more in 1 year here than I have 7 years on my own.
Tara Swanson picks out these horses, is a coach for the Western team, and coordinates care plans with their families, so she and her students can take care of them in the best ways possible.
The great part about the students is really seeing how they advance from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. The students get to ride a variety of horses.
The program allows students to become better riders and create irreplaceable bonds, both with each other and the horses.
The way they connect with people, like, it sounds super cliche, but when you see a horse, it's like they almost like look into your soul.
And with horses like Peyton to help them along the way, these students are growing both in their love for horses and their riding skills. Veronica Utek, Campus News.
The horses have all their basic care costs taken care of at NDSU and are returned to their owners as soon as the school year is over.
Students at NDSU strap on numbers, put on hats, and cowboy boots to celebrate the 90th year of the Little International Show. Reporter Alyssa Eisnes shows us how the festival is more than agriculture.
Students at NDSU are celebrating the 90th year of the Little International Show. While students strap on numbers, put on hats, and cowboy boots, some are not all about the prizes.
I love working with the cows. I kind of create a bond with them through the hard work that we do. We create this bond that's never broken.
The show has been running since 1918. The Little Eye is one of the longest running student traditions here at NDSU. People gather from all over Colorado, Montana, and South Dakota. The Little Eye was started in hopes of getting more students involved in agriculture and livestock.
They were looking for your confidence as far as handling the heifer. They're looking for a good balanced heifer, the one that moves nice, and eventually one day we'll be able to calve well and support a good udder for milk production.
It takes months of dedication to prepare for an event.
Part of the show is probably all of the setup that leads into it. You got all the streamers and whatnot that get hung, all the work leading up to it with contestants working with their animals and just getting everything ready to go. It builds a lot of camaraderie and relationships within the club, and that's really cool.
Whether it's preparing for the event or preparing cows, pigs, or sheep to look their best.
It's the whole club as a whole is a pretty close-knit group. We put a lot of time and effort into the Little International Show, and we hope everyone enjoys it.
The Little Eye is a way to bring tradition and community together. With photographer Skylar Zach, Alyssa Eisnes, Campus News.
Other Little International events include Dance of the Chips, Chili Cook-Off, and Kitty Games.
And now we turn it over to Haley Foster for a look at this week's sports. Haley, I understand you have a story about a multi-talented athlete much like myself this week.
Oh, really, Tyrell? What sports do you do?
I do both chip and dip.
Oh, my goodness. It's all about the form, huh?
Oh, you know it.
A Concordia student has spent most of her athletic career on the hardwood. Now, after 2 college transfers, she's trading in her sneakers for goggles. Reporter Tanner Robinson dives in to show us how one student's persistence is making a splash.
Inside the Memorial Auditorium on the campus of Concordia College, a United team of swimmers takes their spots within the lanes of the pool. A key part to this team? Senior Annie Herkenhoff, a basketball player turned swimmer from Freeport, Minnesota. As a freshman, Herkenhoff started her collegiate swimming career at St. Cloud State University.
Coach Hegley called me and wanted me to come swim. I was young and I didn't have a lot of swimming experience, and so I was worried that I wasn't going to be good enough at that level, but I pulled through and I made it.
After her time at St. Cloud State, Herkenhoff started to miss the court, and she transferred to the University of Wisconsin-Stout to resume her basketball career. However, she soon realized something was wrong.
I liked Wisconsin. It wasn't my school though. I knew that I wanted to go to a private school, and I was looking at St. Kate's and I was looking at here at Concordia.
Herkenhoff then transferred to Concordia College and continued her career in hoops. After playing basketball for a year and a half, Herkenhoff debated whether or not she should continue as an athlete in college.
I talked to a family friend and he convinced me that, you know, like, I think you can get back into swimming, I think you can do it. He's like, you only get 4 years to compete, and college athletics are, you know, they're a one-time deal.
Herkenhoff finally made the decision to jump back into the pool. Despite being on the team for just a few months, she is already showing signs of improvement, according to head coach Talia Butry.
It's been a really great thing for our team, but I've seen her, she just gets faster, she's more confident. Her pace sets are way ahead of where they were at the beginning of the season, so she's just really, she's exciting to watch.
Herkenhoff's persistence and positivity have gotten her far in life. She says she is determined now more than ever to help the Concordia swim team perform to their maximum potential. With photographer Kaylee Omang, Tanner Robinson, Campus News Sports.
Herkenhoff is a senior and competes in the freestyle event. Big changes are on the horizon for the University of North Dakota's athletics. UND will have a new Big Sky Conference commissioner by the end of June. Current Commissioner Doug Fullerton is retiring. He's led the conference for 20 years. He's the 5th commissioner to lead the Big Sky Conference. Fullerton says while he'll miss the excitement, it's time for him to spend more time with his family. 2 standout North Dakota State football players are getting their shot at the NFL Scouting Combine. Quarterback Carson Wentz and left tackle Joe Haig are on the invite list. This is the 3rd year NDSU has sent players to the Combine. In the past, NDSU alumni Billy Turner, Kyle Emanuel, and John Crockett participated. Haig's offensive lineman workouts begin on February 26th, and Wentz starts his workouts on February 27th. Student athletes are trained to be calm under pressure, but sometimes that pressure can be too much. A recent study at Drexel Keene University of 500 Division I student athletes showed that nearly a quarter of them reported signs of depression over the past 3 years. Sports like men's basketball and lacrosse have shown lower rates, while women's track and field athletes are more common at 38%. MSUM track and field standout Alyssa Mears says she isn't shocked by the results of the study.
With women track and field athletes, you're always trying to fit like a certain standard, whether it's your weight or your muscle tone, like different things like that, and that's already hard for women to begin with. So then when it comes to athletics, obviously that makes a lot of sense, and that could cause depression in a lot of women.
The NCAA released a 40-page document that displays procedures for mental health care. One student at MSU Moorhead is showing track and field coaches what she's made of. Reporter Nick Buddig shows us how she's making her mark this season.
In the Nemzik Fieldhouse, Caroline Jansen and her teammates prepare for their next meet as well as their future goal of reaching nationals. Jansen is in her 2nd season at MSUM and has put together a season with the hopes of reaching that goal.
There you go, Caroline!
Coach Darren Schneider says he believes Jansen has the talent and ability to reach that goal she has set out for.
It's probably going to be up around 19 feet to actually qualify for the championship and to be able to compete. But she's capable of doing that.
At the Cobber Open, Jansen has showed her multi-athlete talent by capturing 2 wins in the 60-meter hurdles and the triple jump. Jansen says she has to persevere and do the best she can do to reach the nationals and for her team to win the conference championship.
Well, I would like to get a chance to go to nationals myself. And I just want to see, as far as the team goes, I would like to win the conference championship.
With photographer Nicole Strobel, Nick Budig, Campus News.
Jansen currently ranks 9th in the conference in the triple jump and 15th in the 60-meter hurdles. Wow, 9th in the conference, that's pretty impressive.
That is. The only way I could rank 9th in a conference is if there were 9 competitors. Thanks, Haley. Some renowned performers jazzed it up at the Runkey Fine Arts Center recently.
NDSU's jazz ensemble joined them for the first time. Reporter Derek Barkowitz has our story.
Drummer Steve Jennings and trombonist Nick Finzer came together for the jazz duo of the night. For Steve Jennings, this is his first time at NDSU.
I love performing, and this opportunity, it's just a great opportunity to work with young people, to see them develop and then get a chance to put everything together.
Jennings has some advice he would like to give to aspiring jazz musicians.
You have to listen to jazz bands. You have to listen to jazz combos, and you have to take in all that and then make it your own.
This is Finger's first time in North Dakota in performing at NDSU. He is originally from New York City.
Oh, it's been a great day of being able to meet with a lot of new young people that are energetic about the music and great music educators.
He also says he has really enjoyed working with the people at NDSU.
Just try to get people excited about playing music. That's what I love to do.
He said if students want to go into something they love, and it's jazz, it's a great life. With photographers Samantha Stark, Derek Barkwitz, Campus News.
If you'd like to hear more of Nick Finzer's music, you can buy his debut album, Exposition, on iTunes.
And that's it for this edition of Campus News.
We leave you with another look at NDSU's Jazz Festival.
Thanks for joining us and have a great week.
Campus News is produced by the Television News Workshop in the School of Communication and Journalism at Minnesota State University Moorhead in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.